The year is 2000, turn of millennium, a leap year, which means yet another election for the United States, where each citizen elects between the Republican candidate and the Democratic candidate to decide who is going to be our next president. Here we are electing for number 43, and here are our two options. Here is George W. Bush, former governor of Texas, son of former President George H.W. Bush, and he's attempting to become the 43rd president of the United States of America.
Hi, my name is George W. Bush.
Here is Al Gore, current vice president of the United States to Bill Clinton, and he is also attempting to become the 43rd president of the United States.
Climate change.
This is no close election, and as the votes draw in, it is becoming more and more apparent that this election will be set down to Florida to decide who the winner will be.
I'm John Skidt with NSN, and as this election comes close to an end, it's down to Florida to decide our next president. Back to you, John.
How do I vote for Al Gore? That sounds right.
This is John Skidt with NSN, and it appears as if Al Gore is projected to win Florida and the presidency. What was that? I'm getting news it was actually George Bush that won Florida, and he will be our 43rd president of the United States of America. Back to you, John.
These election results did not come easily, with the vote being within 0.5% of each other. There was a mandated recount. However, even after the recount, Al Gore thought that there should still be a manual recount.
Your Honor, I could not have lost that election. There had to have been a mistake. As you can tell, you could barely tell the difference between the second and third box, which is of the third-party candidate. And that's why you see Florida being the most votes by a third-party candidate ever. There has to be a manual recount.
Interesting arguments from you, Mr. Gore. Now, is there any counter arguments from Mr. Bush?
Yes, I do. Womp womp.
Great points from both parties. Now, time for the jury to vote on whether or not to do a manual recount of the Floridian ballot. Nah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Bush, you win.
And there concludes the election and decides who would become our president for the next 4, which would become 8 years of the country. And this precedent decided what would happen if an election ever comes this close again, which we've seen used in the 2020 election.